So we've been busy out in the shop just about every night, every weekend, getting stuff done in here. We got our fridge in. Now we've gone from a 3-way propane to a 12-volt DC fridge. So this is a Dometic N10DC. It's still got some of its protective wrapping on it. A little lesson here on these. You know, the old style RV refrigerators, they had a flange that came over the opening lip, and you screwed the fridge into that flange to retain it. And that went all the way around on at least 3 sides, maybe 4 sides. I don't remember. I think it was on the bottom as well. So ignore this cardboard and stuff stuck to this. This is on there to protect it until we're done messing around with it. But the new ones, at least this one, I don't know about the rest of them, but they screw in from the side, inside. So there's screws that are supposed to go in and screw in to the wall like that. So unfortunately what that means then is that when we built this cabinet, we built this to receive the flange and have a little extra wiggle room on it. And we have too much. And so we're going to have to shim it or make some adjustments here to the boards that we've got. Also, the power on the old fridge, you know, it came in low on the bottom back there on the other side. This one, the power is on the top. Also, reading the instructions, I thought it was still okay to have this ventilated on the top and bottom, like the propane fridge was. That is not the case. It has ventilation on the top and bottom, and it works just like a modern household fridge. So that means that they recommend, you know, obviously that be closed off, which means that I can remove my roof vent and have cleaner lines there. And I can block off that access door. I'm going to leave the access door so I have access to the back of the fridge, but I can block it off so it's no longer ventilated. Low priority on the old to-do list, but yeah, that's one lesson learned there, or a few lessons learned. We got the pantry door done. This works now, and we've got the drawers in there. That was a lesson in cabinet making there. We've got all the trim up around the windows. We've got the cushions done for the dinette. I've got this one apart because I'm doing some wiring right now. This dinette is designed to also be a bed. So we made some mistakes there when we put this in. When we put it back in, this one shifted back a little bit just because of the design of the pantry. It moved back about 1 inch. And we didn't move this one thinking, oh, we'll just have a little larger seating area. Well, we forgot about that lip there that the table sets in. And we also need to modify these cushions somewhat because we made them larger for comfort. But what happens is all these cushions, they form a bed, you know, so they have to be made a very specific size so that all works out to make a bed over here. Now, we forgot about this because we've only used it like twice in the period of time that we've had the bus, but I don't want to lose that functionality. I've added, there's a receptacle over there. I'm going to add a 12-volt plug there as well. That's on inverter. This one is not. So we've got a place to, you know, plug in a vacuum or space heater or something like that that you don't want on inverter power. So yeah, that's going on there. These dinettes, they also they function as chases for the factory heat, the coach heat, you know, when you're going down the road. So there are, I don't know if you want to call it, you know, they're not ducts, but there's channels behind each one for the air to come up out of the floor and into each of these dinettes and exit over there. And there's another vent over on the front of that dinette over here. So we shortened that up. So that's some tricky carpentry there. That's curved to fit around that wheel well. And there's some chases in there for the wiring that's going to run through there. So that's what I'm working on right now, is I'm working on the wiring. So yeah, it's coming together. As soon as we get all this stuff situated, then we're gonna start on the floor. But one thing at a time, right? One thing at a time. Shooting some clear on this cabinet for beside the couch. It's turning out pretty nice. So we got the fridge installed and powered up. It still has the protective coating on it because we're going to be doing some work on the floor and just want to protect it a little better. So, you know, there were a few things about this fridge that were different than the old one. You know, as I explained earlier, the old fridge had a flange that came across this gap here and screwed into the face of this board. This one screws in from the sides into the boards that way, from the inside of the fridge. So that required a little different spacing. So we have a 1/4 inch shim all the way down there that we're going to hide with a piece of trim. The top's got a little bit of a shim to it that we're necessary there. It doesn't require ventilation like a typical RV fridge. This is a DC only. It ventilates from the bottom and the top, kind of like a conventional household fridge. One of the reasons I went with this fridge is I just wanted to get away from the flammable aspect of the ammonia, the very strong ammonia, and I believe hydrogen is used in your typical RV 3-way fridges. I was a little annoyed to find, when I was installing this, a sticker up in here that said caution, explosive, flammable refrigerant. And that really kind of annoyed me. I didn't know that this thing also uses a flammable refrigerant. I researched it. It's not in any of the sales brochures. It uses R600A, which I guess they're using now because it's more environmentally friendly. It doesn't have, you know, greenhouse gas or whatever it is, ozone depleting properties. But I was a little annoyed about that because I thought this used a standard, you know, household refrigerant type thing and, you know, wouldn't be a fire hazard. I guess it's less of a fire hazard, but it's still a fire hazard. potentially. Now, I could put one of those fireballs up inside there. If I had known that, I would have got one and stuck it up inside there in case something happened, so it could pop off and put it out. But yeah, it's DC. It's really nice inside. You know, it's got some adjustable shelves in here and whatnot. Glass. It's a 10 cubic foot in an 8 cubic foot space. This goes down. Ooh, it's getting nice and cold too. Really cold in there. So yeah, we're gonna get some beverages in here. Keep us cool when we're working. So we're working on putting on this rubber floor around the driver and passenger seating area. The idea is that it's kind of like a car floor mat, and we can contour it around the wheel wells. We're kind of working on that. This one we didn't get so good, but I think we got it figured out over here a little bit better. This is not glued down yet, but simply cutting a slit in it and overlaying it one on top of the other here, that's going to lay down in there pretty nice. You won't even be able to see it when it's done. So yeah, I think that's the technique to get around the wheel wells there. Might have to redo this piece over here. And the driver's area will be a little tricky here because, you know, we got to cut around the pedals and stuff, but I think we got a plan there. And it's going to be kind of notched here for the, you know, the driver's foot area, and then we'll have our hard flooring out here. You know, there'll be a little notch there. The walkway will get wider, and continue on down here. So yeah, we're moving on, you know, to the flooring phase of the bus. We also finished this cabinet. This is a pretty nice little armrest cabinet here, made out of oak, and it's got that soft close thing on it there, so we can put bigger stuff in there. Got to help it a little bit, but that it looks a little high for an armrest, but it's actually not, because when the sofa's on here, you know, it comes up, and you can rest your arm on it, throw a pillow over there. We may put some upholstery around that, but yeah. And back behind the couch is the main sort of wiring rat's nest from the previous owner. And we're going to clean that up a bit and keep access to it. Essentially, you know, you can access it through the couch. You can pull the couch off to get back there. It's a jackknife sofa, so you can kind of, you know, jackknife it, get back in there. But basically, you know, fishing more wires through there, you got to have access. That runs all the way up to the front of the bus and the length of the bus back behind the kitchen cabinets and everything, to be able to get wires through the length of the bus. So yeah, that's what's going on here. Flooring. Flooring job is progressing here. We got some trim to do, right? Just getting it down. This is where that parquet was. Massive improvement. Okay, here's an end of day shot where we're at right now. We got trim to do, but that's where we got to. So far. Right to here. You start to see the driver's area mat coming into shape here. Got some work to do here on the matching up for the curve, but we've got a system down for that. It involves super glue. Super glue is what you're supposed to use on this stuff. And it makes a pretty good seam there. And my wife's been doing a nice job back here around the pedals. You can see she's been able to shape that. We've got some pieces that she's still working on here. This will all get trimmed out a little bit better, but I think that's going to work out nice. Now there's going to be, this will be the vinyl floor up into here, and then the driver's area get a little bit wider, rubber there. This track that's on the floor marks where the new laminate floor will go. There's another track over here where that boundary will be for the walkway as we come through here with the laminate. It'll jog there, and then this will be rubber floor over here underneath the passenger seat and in the wheel well there. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Hoping to get this done here pretty quick.